Hello, my name is Matt. I want to talk about my Logistics Information Systems lecture term project, which is Technology Investment Optimization Model for Digital Transformation in Industry 4.0. Abstract, as you know, companies struggling to finding best way uh, to investment in technology every time to maximize its benefits. There are few number of studies to optimize the return of technology investments. When I search on some sources, uh, the range of the studies is really less. Uh, so uh, it's also important problem for the companies' investments. Introduction. This work aiming to develop some qualitative and quantitative models to assess level of investments in technology to optimizing the return and efficiency. Firstly, companies should determine the scope of their technological requirements. It's important because uh, if the companies don't setting, don't determining any scopes, uh, its meanings unnecessary costs for them and workloads also. Uh, Technology investments require some steps for the companies that should following to gaining good results. These steps are commonly purchasing, developing, and or implementing the technological transformation. One of the survey shows that there are some important factors that affects the technological investments, quality and its functionality and performance costs, all major costs, including price and lifecycle costs, technology adaptation or the use of new technologies to optimize a certain process or processes of the supply chain, for example. Government regulations, the laws, regulations, and relationships approved by the government. Problem definition. Today, most of the companies struggling with the finding best investment type of technology. Uh, there are two options to select the best investment type uh, with the technology. Consulting firms or better skilled IT teams. Uh, they manage the investment processes, which one is the most available one to companies' requirements. Consultant firms or IT teams can determine uh, this requirements. Uh, they take into account their economic, organizational, and strategic conditions to determine the best options with both consultant firms and IT teams. Consultant firms, it's a place really important place because um, they can turn into a important partner uh, in a time, and also we can evaluate the IT teams as a long-term investment in a company. Uh, as we said, another question is for the company's scope of investment in technology. It means costs, basically. For to handle these problems, they should analyze their requirements. Probable problems investing in technology. Uh, you can uh, evaluate this from technical view. When companies attempt any changes, some problems may occur on purpose or randomly. Employees or current working processes can create a resistance to changes. Real-life applications prove that. In the steps, companies should find some efficient ways to convince the employees first. Uh, Employees should believe that their routines uh, can handle it with new technological changes. If employees trained and informed well for the new technological benefits, then they will be willing to adopt these changes. Sometimes problems cannot be a human being. Business processes can be a barrier to the implementing technical changes. It can require the total changes with working habits in organizations. And this type of change can be a reason for the lack of working area. Solution approach. Today's business world requires more technology to make more work done. Uh, if a company use mostly manpower, today's business area will highly recommend them to automate their processes. Even HR, purchasing and account departments use the technology for their related areas in the business world. Uh, if a company has good technological experience from its current applications, they can determine the company's requirements for its processes. Uh, on the other side, company which does not have any type of background about information technologies, it's highly recommended to them making a deal with one of the consulting firms. Another solution approach, especially consultant firms plays really important positions, as we mentioned before. Uh, when you bought a software program from them, and let's say a technical problem comes out, if uh, uh, your consultant firm does not respond quickly to your technical problem, uh, it can cause lack of the work at the working area, and it has a cost also. Uh, for handle this problem, companies should make a good selection uh, for the consultant firms. Stakeholders in technology investments. Technology not about all the technical side. It also has a financial side. Uh, Companies should carefully analyze the technical investments cost and benefits, both technical and financial sides. The investment should pay itself, not in the long term. Companies always look for the rapid and plentiful returns in a type of investment that make not only technology investment. Benefits of technology investments. Technology investments can force the companies make hard decisions, and it can be difficult at times for the decision makers. Many of past applications show that a good planet uh, investments uh, high rates has high rates, good returns. In a daily life and business sectors can verify this topic. Uh, in the working area, employees usually resist the changes, as we said before. Managers or training teams should handle this problem and convince them to benefits of the technological changes. Implementing critics of technology investments. This topic should evaluate many sides of the organization. It requires experts' recommendance to implementing changes. This process can require some changes the flow of the specific job. System analyzing keeps more important for this issue. You can redesign your all your uh, business business processes and transactions, and it can uh, be a reason for lack of the working flow and cause harmful returns with both financial and technical side. Future technology investment options. Uh, Technology developing day by day, and the term is called digital transformation represents the importance of this area. All studies and research shows us that artificial intelligence and Internet of Things applications will be the most popular technologies in the future. It can be risky for now to making investment for this trends because it's very beginning level to use them. Uh, Industry 4.0, uh, which is we call this decade, uh, mostly automated and robots using at the production line or daily routines. Uh, this era decrease the human errors. It's most important point when we talk about Industry 4.0. What about Turkey's investment uh, level? One of the record which is made by venture capital, uh, there are 76 million mobile users and 60 million web users in our country. One of the points that the report draws attention is the talent pool and low salaries in our country. The average salary of developers in our country is low compared to the other countries in Europe. Uh, Another side of this report, according to the report, the investments which increased last 3 years, uh, but the returns of the investments uh, significantly increased 2018. So what the business sector thinks about uh, for the investments in technology, KPMG made and survey with sector, and uh, it they found that perspective changing year by year, time by time, and also proves that technology investments of companies have reached the peak of the last 15 years. One of the leads technologies, cybersecurity, data analytics, artificial intelligence, automation, and transformation. Uh, One of the surprising uh, point, the quantum technology. Uh, Cloud computing is becoming increasingly common. Almost one-fifth of the companies use the Internet of Things, demand-driven platforms, robotic process automation, and artificial intelligence technologies. Uh, this type of technologies makes life easier to making done the daily routines. Business models will be demolished and re-established. 44% of companies expect their business models to change radically over the next year. This is due to the digital distortion and the need to be close to the consumer. That's all my presentation. Thank you for listening to me.